my last Vox Machina video did pretty well.
Fantastic.
And we're about to hit the season finale of the first season. So I wanted to give my quick thoughts, my opinions on the show, and I wanted to make some predictions for the last couple episodes. There's 3 episodes left, because there's 12 episodes in total of season 1, and I'm super excited to see what happens, because I don't know when this video's coming out. I'm pretty sure it's coming out before the release, hopefully, because I want to push it out there and, like, get a bunch of views on the day of release. We'll see how that works out. Honestly, it's a good show for the most part. There's a few editing problems on rewatch where I was like, holy shit, how did that get past production? Why is the king glitching out? How did this get past professionals? He's the focus of the shot. Why are you ignoring this person who clearly needs help? They're dead. Good job! I have a few problems with the, I guess, technically fan servicey parts of Vox Machina, but it's for D&D viewing, so it's like, is it really bad? Kind of, because if you're not that big into D&D, there could be problems of you understanding what the fuck's going on. I have some problems with, like, guys like Scatlin. Not huge problems. I just feel like they could adjust certain things, and I hope they do certain things with the character as the show goes on. Right now we're in Percy's arc, essentially. This is his backstory. He's getting the most character development out of the characters, but it doesn't mean that other characters, like Scatlin specifically, can't get character development themselves. For example, for Scatlin, because I want to get this out of the way right off the bat, he had a little episode to himself where he wanted to essentially prove that he could do stuff by himself and he can be useful. Scatlin in this season so far has needed to be saved multiple times. And due to the fact that he needed to be saved, 2 people died protecting him. And so far, at least I haven't noticed him having much reflection on that so far. He did essentially, like, go into a guy's house, burn it down, and do some crazy fun stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I think that episode for him was really interesting, because it showed that he is kind of capable. I'll also say that he got very lucky in that situation as well, not getting absolutely murked, or not getting killed by drinking a potion that he didn't know was gonna do what it does. So, overall, Scatlin has a lot of room to grow out of the entire cast of characters. Scatlin has the most room to grow as a character, and change and develop and maybe become less annoying. And don't get me wrong, I don't really find him that annoying. I know a big majority of the community find them annoying. Do generally like some of his hijinks and goofiness. I can see where he can be very annoying in certain spots. But for the most part, I think he's fine. Like, he doesn't bug me that much. He's not anime annoying. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch anime, you know what I mean? Like, certain characters that push the boundaries of, like, pervy jokes and stuff like that. Scatlin does make me laugh with some of the stuff he does in the show, and I can't necessarily, I don't really hate Scatlin. I just find it that he needs some more room to grow, and I really want him to reflect on the fact that people died protecting him. Kidalith is fucking ridiculous. This girl is so powerful in the show. I love her, don't get me wrong, but it feels like the show can definitely, like, use her in certain ways that I'm not sure would be good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But she is ridiculously powerful. She's hands down the most powerful person on their team. To give you some context of how powerful Kidalith actually is, in the fight against Grog, the creators of the show decided to not let her have her staff for some reason, because she clearly can use vines without her staff, but with her staff, she's powerful enough to most likely just tie him up and hold him down the entire time, which they didn't do. She has called a giant lightning bolt down on a dragon. Don't get me wrong, I made it worse, but she still did it. She can make giant vine walls. She can cause a giant blizzard in the street and freeze everything. She can create a small sun in her hand. She's very, very scary strong. And the only thing really keep holding her back is her insecurities. I don't know if when she does absurd amount of magical things in the show, if it causes harm to her, because she did one thing where she, like, froze an entire street of zombies, and it looked like it took a lot out of her. I don't know if it hurt her necessarily, like shortening her lifespan or something. It looked like her hands also got, like, really frozen. I don't know if that's gonna come back or anything. I don't know if it's just cool moments for the sake of cool moments, like them just rolling in at 20 kind of thing. I don't know. But I just hope they don't, like, use her as a kind of a Deus Ex Machina to, like, get them out of bad situations. Like, oh, hey, this character's about to die. Kidalith, oh, no! And they just, like, off somebody really quick for, like, a giant fireball out of nowhere kind of thing. Like, I hope they don't do that. They might I can see it happening. But, or maybe just make her, like, extremely exhausted afterwards. Because after she used the giant blizzard thing, she didn't seem that tired. She was straight up, like, just smacking zombies with her staff afterwards. Granted, she wasn't using magic, as far as I can remember, at least. She was just straight up smacking zombies with her staff. So maybe she was out of magic. I don't know. I just hope they use her, like, appropriately and well in the final fight that is obviously coming. I think my original, like, thought of this story being predictable is still kind of pretty much on point. I still am easily able to predict a lot of the stuff that happens in the show. Certain aspects of the show has surprised me a little bit, like the way that Percy goes about certain things. Percy's slow descent into, like, becoming a demon, from what I can tell. Like, his eyes are getting worse and worse. It's pretty cool, don't get me wrong. I hope it's not just some random, like, spirit of vengeance is possessing Percy. Something easily predictable like that. I hope not. I want it to be something interesting. Something that I can't predict. But it might. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's executed well. I just think that it kind of gets a little meh when I can just be like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and then it does. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think the one thing in the show that did surprise me, that they introduce Percy's sister being alive. Okay, look, I just want to remind everyone, this is before the final 3 episodes release. I don't know what's happening. I have not watched the campaign up until this point, at least. So it's blatantly obvious that she's gonna, like, probably betray them in some form or another. I just hope that it's not exactly that, because it's pretty predictable. I don't know. I hope she's not just fodder there to die to make him, like, have a power up or some shit, you know, so something. But we'll see what happens with her. I also do like the fact that the Briarwoods became vampires because the wife wanted to protect her husband. I thought that was pretty sweet. They're still Disney evil, though, and there's not much layers to them as far as I can tell. Hopefully they might add some more layers to the villains. I personally like more layered villains with more interesting, like, things to them. Like, have a little good elements to them, but so far they just love each other and they'll fuck everything else, which is like, okay, fine. It's been becoming very blatantly obvious that the Lady Briarwood is straight up just like the main, like, one coming with the plans in this situation. And she's clearly the bigger problem because she could just make armies of zombies out of fucking nowhere. Like, her husband is like a tank, but it's like, you can just pin his ass down, he's dead. She can just make an army of zombies. She's like, okay, so they have to kill her, and surprise, they have Pike back, and she can now kind of neutralize her dark magic, because it's holy magic, so she can actually fight against Lady Briarwood. So we'll see how that goes. I like the way that her religion was like, yeah, you're the one cutting yourself off from us. It's not us doing it to you. You're judging yourself, essentially. We don't give a fuck how you go about your life, as long as you still care about your religion and care about the, you know, what you're doing. And they essentially gave her an option, like, you can go out and be with your friends, or you can stay here and be a monk. We don't fucking care. But the thing is with that is, just like, why wouldn't she choose her friends? Because the whole point of, like, her going there was so she can help her friends, and she cares about them, and she's just, like, sad that she wasn't able to use her powers. You feel like she, like, lost her connection to her god. Turns out, you have a connection to her god and be a venture at the same time, and the god wasn't gonna judge her. So why wouldn't she pick her friends? Because it's like, yeah, she's happy with them, and the god would be fine with it. So it's like, what kind of, like, choice is this, really? I hope they don't pull a fast one, like, haha, surprise. This is my last venture with you guys. I'm gonna go back to the temple. That would suck. I feel like that'd be really silly. Or maybe they'll choose neither, and she'll, like, just go off and, like, have some reflection on herself and try to decide afterwards. I don't fucking know. Also, her coming in to save the day was pretty fucking tits. I'm not gonna lie. Her holy magic fucked that army of zombies.
I would love to have the sex with you.
She was having a fucking good time. She was swearing up a storm. It was pretty fun. Grog and Vax haven't had that much development so far because this isn't really their season. But I hope that Vax's whole, like, declaration to Percy of, if you turn that gun on any of us again, I will kill you thing, does come full circle. I kind of want to see them come into more conflict. I like seeing conflict in a group of people as long as that makes sense. And at the end of episode 9, Percy just straight up pulled a gun on somebody in a prison. It's just out of nowhere, so I don't know if that's gonna come into conflict with Vax or not. Went back and looked up who this person could be, and she's the one that stabbed Percy's dad and possibly tortured him, because I looked back to the flashbacks, and she looks like the person. I don't know if it is them, but it's there. And it's like, shit. So she's the one who, like, tortured the fuck out of... She could be the one who tortured the fuck out of Percy. She sounds like the one in the flashback. So it's probably her. Percy, Vax, and Vex have a kind of a, like, Vex, fuck, dyslexia, these two twins having the similar name. Vex is clearly set up to, like, be in a relationship with Percy, because they have, like, flirtatious moments, and she's, like, angry at her brother for outright, like, liking Kidalith, and it's kind of very hypocritical, and I like, good characters have to be kind of hypocritical. Vex is kind of jealous of her brother, or she's jealous of Kidalith, essentially, because she's always got, like, these really mean things to say to her. She's still, like, not as hard flirting with Percy, but it's subtle, and I do like that aspect. Like, she doesn't see that in herself as a problem, because she's not as, like, outright flirting with Percy as Kidalith and Vax are, and I want to see that develop, and I want to see how Kidalith reacts afterwards to Vax, fucking dyslexic shit, that he loves her, and I want to see how that goes out as well, because that's, oh god, that was the most awkward way to tell someone that you love them. Hey, we're about to die. I love you, by the way. It's like, yeah, really? In a moment of fucking fear and possible death, you tell us this is good. I hope there's some conflict here, because, like, I don't like characters just being, like, you know, consistently, oh, this is just fine, you know, we're just gonna ignore this. No, like, fucking confront it, talk about it, argue something, make it feel like actual people, which this show has been doing pretty well so far. I just want to see the characters come into more conflict with each other and develop and become better friends as the show goes along. So we're gonna see how that goes. They're probably going to, judging by the way the show does characterization and characters like bouncing off each other. I just want there to be, like, long-lasting, like, relationships with, like, bouncing back and forth and, like, growing with each other and having conflict with each other, because that's what I like to see in writing. But we'll see how that goes out and what happens in episode 10. So there's one aspect of Vox Machina that I think that's a negative. If you don't know about D&D lore or D&D characters or, like, simple, like, memes in the D&D, like, community, the show might come off as weird. For example, with Grog, when he did his whole I would like to rage moment, I thought it was a tits. I thought it was awesome. I fucking was hyped. But if you don't know about D&D, that moment's gonna come off as very strange and odd. Why would he say that? And there are other moments like that throughout the show that I personally did really like, but I can see why people who aren't into D&D or understand certain aspects of Vox Machina as a campaign in D&D wouldn't understand. Like, for them, opening doors sometimes is random, and for random viewers, they might not get that. I personally think, like, you don't need to, like, understand the full reference. Obviously, the door was just a pain in the ass from the open. In a lot of D&D campaigns, doors just suck. So that does happen. I can see where random people who don't know about that stuff could have a problem with it or just not understand it. But those are my thoughts so far on Vox Machina. I plan on making a full review of the first season after the show is done airing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below of the show so far. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, if you guys want to talk to me personally, please check out my Discord so we can talk about Vox Machina, talk about anime, or you guys want to talk to me live. I have a Twitch you guys can go check out. TikTok, we're talking about more anime stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.